show. This is very new for me, so I appreciate you being here for it. So for those who are watching live, this episode will be uploaded on the Wake Up Ready podcast, which is available on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So in this episode, we're talking about, or we're talking to a personal trainer and former bikini competitor, and we're discussing the critical role that protein plays in building strength. So whether you're an experienced lifter or you're just starting your strength training journey, understanding the importance of protein in muscle development and in recovery and overall performance is really key. So let's jump right in, Wendy. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your experience and background in nutrition and fitness?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. I'm so excited to be here and just to pour all my knowledge into this. But my name's Wendy, and I've been in the fitness and nutrition field for over like 10 years. This is how I started when I was like super overweight and I just like needed to change. And then I had really good results on my own. But obviously, I had to have a coaches as well. I had to do like my nutritionist courses and so on just to learn a little bit more about the nutrition. And now I've been coaching females for the past 5 years, and I've already helped over like 300 females to actually lose weight, get toned, and feel confident in their body through nutrition and strength training as well. So I had like from beginners to like weightlifters as well to fitness coaches. But basically, these people just want to take their nutrition to the next level so they can see even better results. Then I also won 3 times Bikini UK Championships. And when I was competing, I learned so much about the nutrition and how it is actually really important and why we need to eat protein as well. And now basically I'm just building my glutes and bigger legs just so to get even more stronger. And that's why I feel like talking about protein is super beneficial for all of you right now.
For sure. Yes. Thank you for that. And I am one of those clients that you help make feel more confident. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And this is just the beginning.
It is just the beginning. Yes. I'm looking forward to our work together for sure. So let's start with the basics. Can you tell us, like, what is protein? What does it do in the body? Why is it an important macronutrient for someone focused on building muscle or building strength and muscle?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the protein is very crucial for anyone that's looking to build strength. And that includes pretty much anyone who's lifting weights or even doing the body weight exercises if you are doing yoga, calisthenics, and so on. Because protein is so important. It helps actually repair the muscles, and it actually helping like building the muscles as well. So especially if you want to get that toned look, this is something that you should be really focusing on. Because when you are working out, you are actually causing a tiny tears in your muscle fibers, and protein helps fixing those tears. And this is how your muscles grow together, and they are growing stronger as well. For example, like I really like to think of protein as a building blocks. So if you are building a house, actually like a bricks. So when you are building a big house, you need to have a lot of bricks, right? And this is something very similar with protein. Like if you want to have really strong, nice toned look, you need to have a lot of bricks. So you need to have a lot of protein.
Yeah.
And so, for example, let's say you are starting your fitness journey and you've been lifting for a few weeks, you might be feeling sore after workouts. And that's just because you didn't get enough protein and your muscles don't have the right tools to repair themselves properly without that. That means basically we need a protein to recover, to not feel super sore, to grow the muscles as well. And yeah, did I answer your question?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was just
I got
thinking
it.
about that the same way as you were explaining what protein was, that I was just thinking building blocks. And then you said that. So that's a great metaphor to describe how protein is essential in building onto that, what you're doing with tearing down your muscles and rebuilding it back up. Yeah, I think that's great. So as a personal trainer, you work with a variety of clients. How do you assess someone's protein needs, particularly for strength training?
Yeah, I have many ways how to do that. And actually, my app is helping me at the moment with that as well to make sure that I am getting the exact numbers. But usually, I'm working just with female clients and I start considering their current weight, their goals as well, and their fitness level. So, for example, if you are, let's say, 60 kilos, which is like 100 pounds, let's say, you are a beginner and you're just starting out aiming to build the muscle, the toned look, I would generally recommend around 20 to 120 grams of protein each day because you need to have at least 1 gram per body weight for yourself to actually see results, to actually function really well. But
Okay.
now, for example, me as an advanced lifter, I need at least like 2 grams per body weight. So actually, my goal is 150. That's why it's super important to know exact numbers for
Mhm.
your macronutrients because everyone is completely different. But for
Right.
example, just one thing, like if for example those ladies that are listening are not working with a coach, I would just also say try to get like 20 to 30 grams of protein with each meal. So as an example, for example, you can have a chicken breast which is like 30 grams of protein. Then for example for the second like if you need more, like if you need to hit 120 grams of protein, you can also have like the protein powder in your smoothies, because I usually recommend 4 meals. So let's say we have the chicken breast, we've got the protein powder, we've got like Greek yogurt, then we can have some eggs and so on. So basically, if you're gonna divide those 4 meals and you're gonna hit about like 20 to 30 grams per meal, then it's easy to hit your protein goals because I know so many girls are actually struggling with hitting the protein. And I
Mhm.
have always so many questions like, how do I hit the protein? What do I
Yeah.
eat? How do I increase it? I'm like, it's easy. You just need to pick the protein sources that are quite high in the protein and then just like increase the sizes of the one protein. Like, let's say, for example, salmon or any white fish, chicken, right? Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, eggs, and so on.
Yeah. No, I think that that makes a lot of sense, especially for people who aren't working with a coach. Working with a coach makes things so much easier. It takes the guesswork out of it. But there's so many people who aren't working with one who have no idea where to start. So that was, I'm glad that you answered that part of the question of people who aren't working with a coach and how can they start? And it makes a lot of sense to just kind of figure out what your number is by that 1 gram per pound of body weight, and then just dividing
Exactly.
that amongst your meals for the day. If you
Exactly.
eat 3 meals a day, if you eat 4 meals a day, just dividing that and making sure that you get that. That's a really easy way to move forward
Yeah.
with that.
And also like to make sure that you are getting those grams, I would also recommend to download MyFitnessPal, and then you can literally track your meals in there and then see if you are actually hitting your goals. That
Right.
way you are getting closer to your, like your dream body.
Right, right. No, I totally agree with that. So, there's a lot of talk about timing protein intake around your workouts. So, specifically pre and post workout nutrition, how important is protein timing and how much protein should be consumed per meal? You kind of addressed the amount of protein per meal, but can you talk about meal timing a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I feel like the protein timing is definitely a hot topic in the fitness world, but I'll be honest, it's not the end of the world if you don't eat the protein right after your workout, but it can help with your recovery. So, when you, for example, lifting weights, your muscles are a bit damaged, as I told you, like your fibers are kind of torn like apart. So the protein helps to repair those tiny tears quite quicker. So I would say like 30 minutes to an hour after your workout is kind of like the golden window where your body is super ready to absorb all the nutrients because it's hungry, right? But honestly, like don't stress if you miss it or if you will eat it maybe in like 2 hours.
Hmm.
Um, because yeah, it will not make any huge differences because overall you need to eat the protein in the whole like day basically. I
Right.
wouldn't recommend, for example, eating more than 40 grams per meal because
Okay.
your body will not actually absorb all the 40 grams. So instead, I would have like some protein before your workout, just so you have energy. to actually lift heavy, but combining it with carbs. And then after the workout, you can actually have like protein and some carbs as well. But for example, for dinner, you can also have just like protein and fats. So you don't need a lot of carbs for dinner. So pre-workout and post-workout is not just about the protein as such. I would say
Hmm.
it's more about the whole macronutrients, because
Right.
if you really want to see amazing results, you need to have a good amount of carbs before your workout. So you're gonna smash those weights, you're gonna lift heavy, you're gonna build those muscles, and then
Right.
after the workout you're still gonna fuel the glucose, the glycogen stores, basically with the glucose from carbs. That will help you to recover faster. And then for dinner you can just have like protein and fats, because you
Sure.
don't need carbs anymore.
Right, right. No, that's great. So, can you talked a little bit about how protein works for muscle repair, so it's important to get it in after your workout, not necessarily too particular on the timing of it, but talk a little bit more about how it helps in reducing soreness from strength
Mhm.
training, or does it help in reducing that soreness afterwards, or is that just kind of something that we have to deal with as newbie lifters, or how does that work?
I feel like when you are doing a first week of a new phase, we will all be suffering. Like we will all have a muscle soreness, which is something normal because the body is not used to it, right? So actually, to help the soreness to not feel super sore the next day, protein is something that will definitely help you in a big way.
Okay.
So after the workout, actually, your muscles are repairing and growing back stronger. But what is actually going to help you to repair yourself or repair your muscles is sleep. Obviously, we need to still hit the protein at least like 120 grams per body. But if you are not getting enough sleep, because this is when we are repairing all those muscles,
Hmm.
then it doesn't matter like if you are hitting the protein or not, because you will still not recover and you will still feel sore.
Hmm.
So um, I feel like, yeah, the protein is super important, actually, like to build all the blocks and
Hmm.
repair kind of like the muscle fibers. But
Right.
you also need like the sleep, and also what I would suggest is water intake. So at least
Okay.
like 2 liters of water, and also like maybe you can also implement some active recovery, actually,
Okay.
like steps, getting extra steps, because that
Hmm.
will actually help you with the blood flow, so you will recover faster again. And also sauna, like sauna is really good, or kind of like steam room and
Sure.
something hot. Again, it will help you to increase the blood flow. That means the protein and everything will be working a little bit faster in your body.
Yeah, that's great. Those are really great tips. And so, what I'm hearing is it's not just, we don't want to focus just on the protein when we
Yeah.
are strength training. There's so many other components that go with it that help build that muscle, help with that recovery, help with the
Yeah.
soreness, the carbs, the hydration, the sleep. All great tips here. So, let's talk about protein supplements a little bit, like powders and shakes. How do you see them fitting in to a strength training regimen, and are they necessary? Should everybody be
Mhm.
buying protein powders? What do you think?
Mhm. Yeah, I am always getting this question in my community, and my rule is always try to get protein from the whole foods. Honestly, protein supplements are just for you if you are super busy, if you can't get the protein, or for example you are vegan and you can't really get easily the protein from like meat, from eggs and so on.
Mhm,
So I
mhm,
think when you are on a specific diet, protein powders can be super beneficial, because this is the ultimate like way how to get the protein in. But if you are not on a specific diet and you can eat meat, you can eat eggs, Greek yogurts and all that, I would always say to my clients, like, eat the foods first. First of all, you will feel more satisfied, because
mhm.
obviously we want to feel like we are eating, we are not restricting ourselves. And the protein shakes, they are good, but you will also feel hungry like really soon, because it's just liquid.
Right.
Unless you are combining it maybe with like a smoothie with maybe a banana, that
Sure.
would be really good pre-workout, like banana protein powder. maybe something else, maybe
Sure.
peanut butter as a fat, so you're
Mhm.
not feeling hungry afterwards. So I
Okay.
feel like, again, it's kind of like about the combination. But me, for example, I haven't eaten protein powder in about a year. Like, you don't really need it to build muscles. You don't
Right.
need to you don't need to have it to build a toned look. You don't need it to lose the weight if you are getting the protein from normal foods.
Right, because the supplement is just supposed to supplement your current
Exactly.
diet,
Yeah,
right? So if you're
exactly.
not getting it or enough of it, an adequate
Yeah,
amount for your optimal whatever your goal is, right? Whether it's weight loss,
yeah.
whether it's strength training, it is just meant to supplement your diet, what you're
It's a
not getting in your diet.
Exactly. But yeah, I had like another idea basically. For example, some of my clients, they are craving something sweet. I used to be like that as well. And sometimes they can't not eat something sweet, which is fine. And maybe like after lunch, they feel like, okay, I need to have a chocolate. I need to have, some dessert. So this is actually like protein shake can be a supplement to prevent cravings the sweetness, because usually protein shakes are super sweet and
Mhm.
they honestly taste really good. Like, I used to have it instead of like my desserts, instead of my cakes and so on. So
Yeah.
maybe if you are craving a chocolate, maybe before your period you are
Mhm.
craving something chocolatey, as we all do, then I would suggest maybe to combine like a chocolate protein powder with maybe Greek yogurt and have like a chocolate snack, or maybe use the protein powder in something baked, so you are still feeling satisfied from eating the foods, but you
Mhm.
are also getting the chocolate flavor in it. Or yeah, vanilla muffins, with blueberries, something like that. So you can definitely bake with the protein powder. You can use it in any another foods. So it's not just like protein shake that is like boring and you will get hungry super soon, but you can combine it with like normal foods and then feel super satisfied from it as well while hitting your goals.
Yeah, I think that that's great because those chocolate cravings, they hit me too.
Mhm,
So I think that that's a good idea
mhm.
of, mixing it with something like Greek yogurt and even like mixing it thinly. So maybe dipping some strawberries in it or something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
That could be a really good snack.
Yeah. You can
While
also do like a chocolate
hitting your,
ice cream with
yes,
Greek yogurt and all that.
yes, all good tips for sure. Okay, so
Yeah.
what are some of the signs or symptoms of someone might experience if they aren't hitting their protein, if they're not getting enough protein in their diet? So especially with somebody who is
Mhm,
strength training, what would they notice if they're not reaching those goals on a
mhm,
consistent
mhm.
basis?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. Because not many people knows if they are hitting the protein or not. So if you are going to the gym at least like 3 to 4 times a week and you are not seeing the results, like your muscles are not growing, you still look the same, then there is some kind of issue with your diet, and that might be that you are not hitting your protein enough. Because again, if you don't have enough blocks, you will not see any results
Mhm.
on your muscles,
Yeah.
basically. Then another sign it is that you might be a little bit more tired than usually because your muscles might take longer to recover, which kind of leads to soreness. You will feel extra sore for a couple days or even a week after your workout. That's a big sign that your body isn't getting the right nutrition that it needs to kind of recover and function really well.
Okay.
Also, I would say, for example, you are not sleeping well, like something's kind of bothering you, but you don't know what. It
Hmm.
can be, again, from macronutrients. You are not getting maybe enough fat, enough protein, and all that. So maybe sleep can be disturbed. And on a bigger scale, like if you really not getting in like any protein at all, it can affect your skin, it can affect your hair, your nails as well. You might
Hmm.
be seeing that your hair is like thinning, or you might be feeling more sick more often than usually,
Okay.
because your immune system is kind of like affected. So yeah, there's like a lot of things. It's just because our body is made from protein and
Hmm.
water, like we are made from it. And if we are not fueling the body with the things that we are made from, it
Hmm.
will affect your life on like a bigger scale.
I think that that point is so crucial for people to understand because there are so many times, even with my own clients, that
Hmm.
they, maybe don't realize the importance of both
Yeah.
protein and hydration.
Hmm.
So, both of those things and how they affect multiple areas in your life. So I think that that's a
Absolutely.
really, really good point for people to
Yeah.
understand. Um,
Good.
so let's talk about a lot of misinformation out there about protein,
Mhm.
like the belief that more protein always equals more muscle. And I know that we talked about it being a building block, but what are some of the common myths that you've encountered about protein?
I feel the one that we just said like a couple seconds ago is the protein shakes. Like you don't
Mhm.
need a protein shake to build the muscles. Honestly, again, the protein shake is just a supplement, but you don't need to have it at all. And another one is, yeah, more protein equals more muscles. I wish that can be the case because I love meat. I love meat. I love eggs. Honestly, I'm addicted to meat. And yeah, if it would be that case, I feel like I would be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is not true as well because you still need about like 30 grams per meal. Everything else will be stored as a fat, like
Okay.
everything else. So it doesn't mean like over the 30 grams if you're gonna eat the protein or something else, something like chocolate and so on. It will both be stored as a fat.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really mean that you're gonna get more muscles. It actually affects your training. So if your training sucks and you are even like getting more protein, you will still not see results because you need to fix the training and you need to
Right.
apply the progressive overload to make sure that both things kind of align together.
Right. Okay. And again, we don't want to um, put all of our protein into, say, the beginning of the day because your body's not going to, metabolize all of that at the
Yeah,
same time, right? So it needs to be
yeah.
spread out over the day, right?
Exactly. And
Okay.
another thing I would say, like the protein is not enough to build muscles. You also need other macronutrients to make sure you get that toned look. You are actually boosting your metabolism. You are seeing great results. You are losing the body fat. Because, for example, healthy fats are really good for supporting your hormones. Carbs are really good pre workout, post workout. So we all need to have the combination of all of it. And we also need a good sleep, good water. We also need to have really good structured workout plan that is made actually for us so we can progressively overload and we can push ourselves outside of the comfort zone as well. And I feel also consistency. Like
Oh yeah.
many people actually struggle with consistency, and they usually start, like for example now it's like January, everyone will start with like meal prepping for 2 weeks, and then boom, like they will have holidays, they will have, I don't know, some birthday celebration, and suddenly they don't know like what to eat outside of the meal prep, like they don't know
Mhm.
what to eat or how much to eat on the weekends. That's why, for example, having a coach is also important because the coach will keep you accountable, but also you will learn what to eat and how much to eat without even calculating the macros, without calculating the calories, even on the weekends or on holidays.
Yes, I can attest to that. It has been a game changer for me. And
Yeah,
I'm a coach. So it
exactly.
it doesn't matter whether, I have all of the knowledge, but the accountability part was
Yeah,
missing,
like,
right? So that's true for a lot of people. Don't think that you have to wing it on your own. There
mhm,
is a lot of information out there. There are a lot of coaches out there that could fit your style. So, I highly recommend getting a coach. It's been
mhm.
wonderful. Um,
And
Wendy,
honestly, I can
yeah,
say the same. Sorry to jump in there.
no, you're fine.
But even fitness coach, like I've been on my fitness journey for the past 10 years. I've helped 300 females and so on. But I still had my own coach for 3 years. He actually helped me to win the bikini championships, but he also helped me to grow my glutes, to grow my legs. But it wasn't because of the protein, but I was consistent
Yes.
because of him. Like he actually gave me the tough love when I needed it, when I needed to show up, when I needed to upload my meal prep, and all that. So I feel like that's why it is not just about the protein, but it's all about the other aspects to see amazing results.
100%. I 100% agree with you. So, Wendy, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join me today on the show. This has been so much fun. I love talking to you. I know that we could continue
Yeah,
talking for an
now that's
hour
kind of like, okay,
probably.
tell me more.
um,
Okay, we need to
and
organize more of this. I'm excited.
we do. We could do this again. We could totally
Yeah.
do this again. So I'm sure that our listeners really appreciate the wealth of knowledge that you have shared. Where can our listeners follow you on social media for more great fitness and nutrition content?
Yeah, if you can just type into Instagram fit by Wendy _, then you will find me. I am the weight loss expert. And also you can find me on YouTube, the same Fit by Wendy. You can also go to my website, fitbywendy.com. Honestly, easy as that. And if you're gonna go to my Instagram, I do have a free recipe ebook packed with high protein meals. So just type recipes into my DM or on my story, and then I'm gonna get you the free copy.
Is wonderful. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that tomorrow you feel confident that you will wake up ready. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
thank you so
Wendy.
much. Thank you. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.